Ladies and gents, here we are. Big night ahead of us. We're just gonna give it a couple more minutes before we get going with anything, but just want to let you know that I'm Abused Cod. I will be your caster for tonight. Caster? Christ. I'll be your host. The first ever loaded All-Star Awards night. We're hoping this could become a seasonal thing, but for now this is what we've done. This tie is very bright. Very, very bright here. No blazer. I haven't actually got one that fits me up. I think the last blazer I owned was in 2016 prom, and I definitely won't fit into that anymore. So you're just gonna have to make do with that. And it's also 26 degrees in my room, so the idea of a blazer right now is horrific. Matt, shorts are on. I look even more Swedish in a suit. I'll take that. Me and Emil Forsberg go way back. Anyway, chin chin. I was worried that behind the green screen and the mic stand, you wouldn't actually be able to see. I got meant to look in the camera a lot today. I was worried you wouldn't be able to see anything. Why'd I have a green tie? It's an awards night. We're going gold. Has Fuse announced it yet, or are we just running with it? That guy's not announced it. You ask him to do one thing. Oh my god, green screen can change it. Yeah, that would be awful. I did always get called Emil Forsberg at school when he started to break out in the Leipzig team. Emil Forsberg was kind of the go-to. Is Fuse going to put his finger out, or should we get started with Div 8? We'll give it a couple minutes. FDP, I thought you weren't making it, mate. I was hoping to have to do that. We are going to be starting with Div 8 and working our way down the divisions tonight, just because that's the order I did them in. So from top to bottom, the low divs. But I'm excited for it all. I'll explain the format in a second, what you're going to see, what's happened tonight, and what that means going forward. I'm sure some people have worked out bits, but there's going to be 8 All-Stars. There's going to be an MVP for each division as well. The MVP gets absolutely nothing. Well, that's that, really, isn't it? So actually, I mean, you could probably work out who the Div 9 one is, but I don't actually think I've told you who it is. But the 8 All-Stars, we're going to try and set up an All-Stars match over the next week or so between the 8 All-Stars in every div. So there's a little show match at the end of the season. We're looking to make this a bit more of a thing going forwards, and we'll clear up the voting thing and make the voting sheet a little bit better for next time. But it was just something we quickly whipped together. This took me 3 hours to prepare yesterday, so I want everyone to be kind. Me. Right, I give up waiting for that Fuse guy. I'm doing it myself. Oh. The coughs are coming in at the worst time possible. Can't wait to win nothing. There could be quite a few disappointed people, and the problem is, yeah, there will be some disappointed people. Not everyone's going to be able to make it, of course, into the prestigious list, and I promise you they aren't rigged. The votes are on the final slide for the All-Stars. The MVP votes are not, but I do have them somewhere. Right, should we get started? I reckon we've almost got enough to get Div 8 going. I've just announced it all. WB, thanks for service, Timmy. It's a pleasure, mate. This is great fun. Hi, Connor, mate. Big fan. I'm really glowing, aren't I? Like, the tie doesn't even blend in with the background. I thought it would. It's a very out there colour. Might not really get used very often. Oh, that's going to get us through it. Here he is. Tommy's here. Have we got a lot of Div 8 people in the chat? I've seen an FDP. How many Div 8s we got? We need the rest of Div 8. Dill was here. Suited and booted, of course, Jamie. Cobbs noted. I'll change that on the Divlock sheet as we speak. Here we go. XSam 1505. The 8-2s are starting to come in. Nerves. I saw you. I've seen Goddard. I've seen Kersey. Pies. Here we go. The passion is starting to flow. Right. I think it's almost time. I'm nervous. Obviously, I will post all the All-Star teams at the end. I know obviously not everyone's going to be able to make it tonight for one reason or another. So, perfect. Right at the end of the song as well. Should we get into it? So, how it's going to work. We're going to go down the divisions. Division 8-2, Division 8, 8-2, 9, and then 10 finally to finish us off. There are 8 players that are the All-Stars. 6 of them are the player votes that you did in the Google Forms and all that stuff. Got a lot of feedback from that, so it's brilliant. We'll make them better for next time, and not the type boxes because it took me a little bit of counting and a bit of help from ChatGPT to get that done. But there's going to be 6 players in the All-Star match that are from those votes that are put in a random order. They're not deliberately done with the most votes followed to the least. They're just put in a random order. And then there's 2 final votes at the end. 2 final All-Stars, sorry. They're both the admin picks, so people that have missed out on the votes. And that's what we're going for. And we're just going to start with Div HR. No, you haven't missed anything yet. We're just building up the suspense here. And off we go. Oh god, here we go. Is it going to work? Why is it not working? Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We're not risking this. Hold on. Oh Christ, what am I doing? Oh, look at that. You can't even see anything. It's not working. Hold on. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I haven't even. There we go. We are back. We are back. Wait. Hello? Nothing's happening. Connor, this didn't do this yesterday when we tested it. Ah, oh, mate, the nerves are kicking in. Hold on a minute. Let's go to this. I mean, my camera's absolutely all over the gaff here, isn't it? I don't even know what. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Shh. No one talk. No one fear. No one fear. The thing is, I literally tested this 3 seconds ago and it was all working absolutely fine. So I don't really know what the issue is. But all my hard work looks like it could go to waste here. Let me try it one more time. Right. I've worked out what the problem was. No one panic. No one panic. I've worked out what the problem was. Anyone want to guess? I started on the final slide. So it wouldn't let me go to the next slide because I was on the final slide. Pressure's got to the man. There's a reason pressure makes diamonds. There's a reason I got reverse swept by Vantix Rome Div 8. Anyway, should we actually get going now? So, as we said, we're going to start with Division 8 and we're going to work our way through the divisions. Remember, 6 All-Stars are voted for. The bottom 2 are your wild cards. Ladies and gents, shall we get some drum rolls? Who is going to be the first Division 8 All-Star? It is! Oh, that's a longer drum roll than I thought. It's going to be Fyro. Fyro coming in as our first Division 8 All-Star. A very high-octane sub-player there coming in. Did very well. His team made a couple upsets in the winners bracket. They finished top 3 in the end. But Fyro is your first Division 8 All-Star. Second. Don't think this man needs much of an introduction. Brack, grand finalist. One of the 2 scary players on this side. Brack is coming in as our second player, and they're in the 2 teams as well. I don't know if I explained that. So this left-hand side will be one of the 4, and this right-hand side will be the other 4, should we be able to get the All-Star match played as well. So, Fyro, Brack, and I wonder who their third is that's going to join them. A man after my own heart. A man that had the Gen Chat in absolute carnage for half of the season, if I remember correctly, who's in this spot. Oh, there he is. Of course, it's FDP. Mr. Pedro coming in as the third All-Star on the team 1 here for Division 8. Pedro, what a man. Came into the Phantom Green team. Definitely helped us get to the position we got into in the end. What a player from him. So again, this bottom one here is the admin wildcards. We're going to leave those till last. We're actually going to go all the way up to this top right-hand side spot now. Okay, so we've got Fyro, Brack and FDP currently. There's a couple big names missing from Division 8. Okay, and none more so than this next one. And I promise you, I've had to put the votes in the slides just to make sure everyone knows it's not rigged. Abused God's made Div 8. He's made the Div 8 All-Stars team. Round of applause. Yep, thank you guys. Yep, okay. Guys, it's not a rig. It isn't a rig. I've got the votes on one of the next slides, so just hold your horses a second. There are some votes in my favour, and I did actually make the top 6. So, you know, There's a phantom player on both sides. We tried to make it as well. So, there's only maximum of 2 players per team in the All Stars, and they're against each other. So, me and Pedro obviously played together on the same team, so we're against each other coming into this next game. Right, player number 5 of the player voted All Stars. It's graphics coming in. I saw a little bit of a downplay from graphics in the old Gen chat there. He was kind of saying, no, it's Riser. I'm going to let Riser have this one. It's graphics. Came out with more votes than that man on his side. So it's going to be graphics joining me on Team 2 in the Division 8 All Stars. Right, one more voted for player in the top 6. Anyone want to have a guess? Division 8? Anyone who might know a bit about Division 8? Anyone want to have a guess at who the most voted player was inside of Division 8 to make the All-Star team? No clue, sorry. No, Dill, I didn't think so. Sam says Pedro. Pi says Sam. Mac is saying Sam. Lyro's saying Sam. Well, guys, yeah, I don't know why I put him last. Everyone kind of knew he was going to be in here at some point, and there he is. These are your top 6 voted for All-Stars by the fellow Division 8 players. We sift through them. We deleted Dill, who voted for himself 4 times. I think it was Dill, it might have been Luke. Someone voted for himself 4 times. We deleted them. So they are your top 6. Now we get into the interesting bit. 2 admin wildcards. So these aren't necessarily players that had loads of votes. So they didn't make the top 6. Often the players have got votes as well, but we've picked them for slightly different reasons. So it was myself and Connor that were in charge of picking the 8 and 8-2s, and then for the Div 9 and 10 admin teams, they kind of had control over those admin wildcards. But the first admin wildcard in Division 8 is going to be there's your second Ducks player. He's in as an admin wildcard. Of course, I think the Ducks kind of said it themselves, didn't they, in the Div 8 chat? Those of you that are there, everyone's just voted for Sam. No one's kind of regarded the rest of the team in their vote. So it was a tough one, to be fair. All the Ducks have had some good seasons apart from Dill. Obviously, he's not had a very good season. Only getting into the team once. He wasn't even to make a break off the bench. He was kind of stuck doing sprints up and down the touchline the whole season. So it was Luke that we picked on the end. It was a tough one to pick between all the Ducks. To be honest, the All-Star team could have been the Ducks again, all 4 of them. But again, we limited it to 2, so just to keep a bit of a variety going. And there's one more admin wildcard for Division 8 here. I have not voted myself. You'll see it in a second, Hef. These bottom 2 are admin wildcards. These top 6 are player voted. We'll come on to those in a second. But your second admin wildcard for Division 8, Icon. Brack's kind of duo on the map, and the man that I've had nightmares about ever since I scrimmed in before Season 3 started, and he was dropping 60s on Colossus against me. Icon, a very, very strong player. Again, I think a bit similar to Luke, kind of not really voted upon due to kind of the other teammates in that team kind of being the one player that we stand up upon. But of course, it does mean there are a few upsets, obviously. We're going to come on to the other people that got some votes in a second. Riser was my third, kind of one that was in there. Riser was in there for a little while, and then we kind of realised that we've only got one Jackpot Duck player, and they piss slammed the whole of Div 8, so we kind of had to change that. So we've gone from that. But there's your 8 All-Stars teams. We'll get a screenshot of that and we'll put it in the Div 8 chat later on, just so everyone's aware. And these, of course, these 8 players, we're going to try and set up a game, a best of 5 between these 8 players, have a bit of a laugh, get some caster POV on it as well, and see who is the real Division 8 rigs. But the next one, the big one, some would argue, this award right here, the MVP award. Now, I'm just going to give it a minute, give everyone a little bit of time to kind of think who's going to win this award. I'll let you spam in the chat. MVP, again, voted for by the players. Who's going to win the MVP for the season? There's some music on in the background whilst we're just waiting. Let's read out some of the responses. Sam, we don't need to think. End stream now. Sam, Kide, that's a new one. Sam, surprised K1 didn't pay for MVP. Right, yeah, ladies and gents, he doesn't even deserve a drum roll, does he? Sam, of course it was Sam. Sam is going to be the MVP for Division 8 this season. I don't think that was in too much doubt by anyone. He had 10 out of the 15 votes all went to Sam. So he walked away with almost 70% of the votes. A man well deserved the MVP award there. And as promised, just to show that I'm not completely lying here, they are all your votes. So the honourable mentions list, these are all the people that had votes within this season's poll. So all the Google Forms, every single player here had a vote. So if you're not on this list, you didn't get any votes. I do feel like some people might have been doing that to see if I can change their div lock. But I did actually end up with 8 votes somehow, yes. But yeah, as you can see, kind of the top 6 here. So Abuse, Graphics, Brack, Fyro, Sam, and FDP, they were the ones that made your All-Stars team from the player votes. Icon missed out, literally tied on votes with Sam, FDP. The reason Sam's only got 3 votes here is because 10 people voted him for MVP. These are just like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th player votes that you did. So these are the votes here. Mad you haven't. We're only just finishing up on Div 8. We haven't even done 8-2 yet. And then obviously over on this other side, you've got Lynx, Riser with 2. And then you got loads of players with votes. Jonna, Tajim, YS, Pav, Marder, Lozo, which I forgot to take out. Zook, Pies, Wiz, and TDMC Bravo. I like that shout, whoever put Bravo, to be fair, because he was absolutely unbelievable in this season. But yeah, they are your All-Stars. We'll just go back there just to have one last look. Graphics, you have made the All-Star team for Division 8, mate. You got more votes than your teammate. You actually had the 2nd most votes behind me, funnily enough, for that. But there we go. That is Division 8, ladies and gents, which only means one thing coming up next. You've guessed it, Division 8-2. We're going down the pecking order, one div at a time. Div 8-2, again, there's a couple players in here which I think we can all probably guess straight away. They're going to make it. The top 6, again, are going to be all voted for by the players. Admin wildcards in the bottom 2 slots at the end. So, your first Division 8 player... Oh, hold on, sorry. We haven't even done a round of applause, have we? Let's give a round of applause. Minute. There we go. Let's give a round of applause to all of our Division 8 All-Stars and MVP, Exam. Here we go. Division 8-2 now. We're going into the business end. We're going towards the lower div side of things. It didn't work. It should have worked. Actually isn't working. Oh, there's no way it's not working. Oh, fuming. Because I did a clap that was so much better for mine. Oh. I'm sure I had it working earlier. Oh, I know why. There we go. One more time, ladies and gents. Let's give a round of applause to the Division 8 All-Stars and MVP, Exam. There we go. Right, Division 8-2. We're getting into the crux end of things now. Interested to see how many of these players can be guessed. So I'll give you a minute now. Let's put the awards music back on. I've put in the chat some Division 8-2 players that you think might have got into the All-Stars, particularly those top 6 votes as I move myself so I'm not in the way. There we go. I've seen a couple of their names floating around in the chat already. All Kersey, aren't we? Major didn't play Div 8-2, Heffy, so that would be a slight problem. You have to wait for Division 9 if you want to put a vote towards Major Jatham. Right. You still get your vote. No, I rate that then, to be fair. I rate it. Right, here we go then. Into Division 8-2. Your first player is going to be... Drum roll, please. Now you can actually hear the drum roll as well. Tommy coming in straight away. He's going to be the first member. Again, they're not in any particular order, but it is going to be this man coming in first as the first player in Division 8-2. Again, top 6 players that you're about to see. The first 6 are all the top 6 in the votes you'll see at the end after the MVP has been announced. Player number 2. Goddard coming in as well. We played in 2 rosters in Division 8-2, so maybe he had a little bit of friendship cheese. Maybe able to get a few different teammates to come in and vote for him. But again, Goddard, the reason he got picked up onto a team to try and finish out the season must have been for a reason, and we're seeing it now in the top 6 votes of Division 8-2 for your All-Stars. Number 3, the man that doesn't need much introduction, does it? Mr. Kersey, Mr. 24-5 in a debt tree tourney. Here he is, Kersey. on the obviously the winning side in it with Infinite this season. He was able to get into the top 6 of the votes for Division 8 2. And again, these 3 players hopefully will set up a game between the 8 players that you'll see on your screen here for Division 8 2. And the 3 on your left hand side are going to be on one team. As we now look at the other team. Hello, Fuse, mate. Big fan. So, drum rolls. Team at number 2. Who's going to be the 3 players that are voted for? Any big absentees so far? No, it's because I thought you were doing it for you, so I just chucked it in low div in the end. Hysaw coming in into Division 8 2. Now, I can't actually remember. Was it Demonica, I think the team is on? There's someone from Demonica if I've leaked that. If it wasn't him. I think Hysaw was part of a Demonica team, unless I've, again, leaked that someone else on Demonica is coming in later on. No, he was Demonica, wasn't he? He is. So he's going to be coming in? No, he's not. I can't remember. Someone was there. Anyway, Hysaw's in. I'm going to stop waffling. Number 5, Nade. Nadeza is coming in as your 5th MVP, or sorry, 5th All-Star shout. Lightning Esport Orange. There you go. Thank you. Sorry, Hysaw, mate. Raffles, we'll go back to it at the end, mate. But Nadeza is number 5, and number 6 for your most voted for the All-Stars is Bug. Bug is coming in here as number 6 in Division 8 2. Big Bug coming through indeed, and let's not get this one wrong. Let's actually pull up the information I do have available to me. There it is. He was on the Ruthless Rising team, and Goddess was on it at the end of the season, hence why they're on opposite sides. But, guys, you seem to be complaining. There's one person that a few of you you're asking, where is he? Well, don't panic, because there's 2 more players still to come out as your admin wildcards. I wonder who the first one's going to be. Oh, wrong button. Sorry. Kaneki and Archangel. Obviously a bit of a name change. So is Archangel coming through in one of the admin wildcard spots, or as he's known now as Kaneki. Obviously on that X-Force roster. Okay, so you're going to have him up against his teammate Anadza on the other side. JM said, I might be cooked. Fuse, I did think about putting Tricks in as one of the All-Stars just to see what your reaction would be. But I decided against it as I quite like doing my Activate admin job. But anyway, number 2, the second player. JM, of course it is. He had to be in here somewhere, didn't he? He had to be in here, and here he is, the admin wildcard on the other side. We weren't going to leave him out. Kind of the sub-duo on that Infinite roster. You know, you had Stina, you had TD in the back getting stiff, pause. But it was Kersey, it was JM, wasn't it, that really closed out that grand final in a massive, emphatic fashion. And, of course, we're already seeing shouts of it now in the chat. That leads us on to the next award, doesn't it? The MVP award, the only other award, shall we actually say here. MVP, has anyone got any guesses that is not Kersey, or are we just going to say everyone's going for Kersey for MVP? We'll give it a little bit of time, see what we think. Dinos, Tricks, could be Tricks. It was all player voted for, remember. We didn't have a say in this. Goddard, Archangel, Kersey, Amelia Cod, Gibby, Dino Cod. Ah, I wish it was Dino. Ladies and gents, your MVP award for Division 8-2 goes to... It's Kersey, of course it was going to be Kersey. It was never in doubt. That man walked away with the votes. I think he had 75% of the votes. I'll fact check that one in a minute, but of course Kersey, champ as well. Seeing a theme so far, aren't we? The 2 MVPs have been player voted for, also the champs of the divisions in Exam and Kersey so far. So let's have a quick look at your votes. So this is where your votes went for Division 8-2. Again, 3 players tied on 5 votes at the top. Tommy, Nade, Godders, all on 5 votes. Hysaw and Bug very close behind with 4 votes each. And of course, with your MVP Kersey, that made your top 6. And then it was a tough one to kind of pick. As you can see some of the votes here. JM, not a single vote for him in one of your All-Star players. But of course, we as the admins are going to leave him out. That guy was in the final absolutely slamming and obviously won the chip in the end. And You got the other players here. So you had Amelia Kersey, of course, we mentioned. Coonsey and Matt, all on 3 votes. Then Squidge Remy with 2. And then finally, Sando Kaneki, which actually, thinking about that, Kaneki is Archangel, isn't it? Which is the same thing over and over again. Kent, Wong Warrior, Strally, Corbin, and LJS all getting a vote each in the All Stars. But again, not enough to get past the honourable mentions screen. Now, I think we go to a division that a lot of us are going to be excited about. We've done 8. We've done 8 too. We're going into Division 9 now. We're going into Division 9. Same format. 3 on the left for Team 1, 3 on the left for Team 2. Your 2 admin wildcards. The lower of the low divs now. Of course, you've seen some very good players. You've seen your X-Sams. You've seen your FDPs. You've seen your Kerseys. Are there any players in this group that maybe come the end of next season we might start to see them up into that Div 9 spot coming through? I'll give you a little bit of time. Who do you think is going to get into Div 9, MVP, All-Stars, all that stuff? Put some bits in the chat. There's an ad break as well. We will wait. It's time for Ghost. Nice, Brody. Let's see who do you think's making the Div 9 All-Stars team? Infinity. Madge. Infinite. Infinite. Graphics are leak. There is no Infinite. There is no Infinite. Oh no, the music's finished. There we go. Oh, what a tune this is, by the way. Infinity could be on there. He could be on there. Daz for Div 9 All-Stars. Could be on there. That's 100%. The old Via Fragbite boys. They made a run, didn't they? In the AEL top 4, I think it was for Via Fragbite in the end, wasn't it? Just pipped in loser semis by the inevitable winners in Bitty Slam. No one's really touched on the Bitty Slam players. Ads are done. Well, Timmy, I think there's only one thing to do then if the ads are done, isn't it? Should we go to our first Division 9 player? Shall we? Shall we? Alright. It's Scrivy, brackets, on a money, because of course everyone was sus, thought he was cheating, but Scrivy, brackets, on a money, still got inside the All-Star votes there, so he was one of your top 6 most voted. Again, the votes are in no particular order, to quote Anton Deck, but Scrivy is going to make one of your All-Stars in Division 9 on this left-hand side team. Tommy, you made the All-Star team, mate, by the way. You missed it. We'll go back and we'll view them all at the end, but again, Scrivy, brackets, on the one he can, is one of your Division 9 All-Stars. Player number 2. Eddie P. Champ. Hashtag Div9 Champ. Eddie P is making your All-Stars. He came in. Bitty Slam, they made a run through losers, didn't they? You know, they beat Via, they beat the 90s babies. They had to win 2 best of 5s in the Grands, and they were able to do that. And a lovely Discord profile picture. People really need to sort out the Discord profile pictures, so we can do this again for next season. But, yep, he's a fish. Right. No rig, no favouritism. Yeah, he made it. Alright, shall we move on? Major C, your 3rd player on team number 1. Again, no particular order. Major C is one of your Division 9 All-Stars. You know, had quite a few people gunning for his throat at times throughout this season, and you know, quite a few votes to him as well. We'll come on to the votes again, of course, at the end. If you've seen how Division 8 and Division 8-2 have gone, you'll see the votes will be coming up at the very end here. But he did actually get MVP, Heffy. Yep, you weren't just... not MVP, sorry, All-Stars. MVP has not been done yet. Right, on to team number 2 then. Again, top right, still in the top 6 votes. The next player is Arts. Of course it is what I like to call Div 7 Arts. He's not Div 7, I just like to call him that for no apparent reason. Arts is coming in as one of the players on that Havoc Shadows roster, which was amazing in groups. And let's be honest, not good in playoffs. I think Arts will... and the Havoc Shadow players will be pretty honest with that. But again, they did not come out hot inside of playoffs. But he still was in your top 6 players for your votes of Division 9 this season. So it's an interesting one. but a very, very talented player, so we cannot slate that. Player number 5. We've got 2 more spots left in your Div 9 All-Stars before we go to the admin wildcards, and the next player is going to be Daz. Some via frag bite. There's got to be some in there. They finished top 4, sorry, in the end of the season. It is Daz that is going to come in. He had the top 6 votes coming through, so Daz is going to be on that team too. He's playing with Arts. It's going to be an interesting one, isn't it, as we continue on through here. But one more player. I wonder who missing from the top 6 players voted on by the Division 9 players. Who do they think is the final Division 9 All-Star that squeezed in? Again, no particular order. We'll see the order in a minute. Bean's got to be in here. Have a look. It's Skovic. Skovic, grand finalist, of course, came in. They're a very, very strong team, the meme team, dropping from Div 8 into Div 9 this season, and they made it all the way to Grand from the winner's side, but they just weren't able to get that ball over the line. But Skovic has made your Division 9 All-Stars team, again, player voted. Now we get on to the admin vote. So again, we hand this over to Division 9 admins to have their say, and there's 2 players that are coming up in the All-Star match here. Cronus versus Cronus. Brilliant, good, great stuff. So let's hop on over. Admin wildcards. Again, doesn't have to be people that got the most votes. It can just be people that kind of made grands, or they were a bit overlooked because some of their teammates were slightly better than them and they got all their votes. So, something to be aware of, that the voting doesn't go for these admin wildcards. And your first admin wildcard is... Oh. It's going to be Duck, another VIA member, just on the other side, of course. We try not to put the players on the same team, switch up the teams a bit. Duck is coming in as your first admin wildcard. Again, a player that's done really well. Fuse, that is not the same Duck that is an admin. You should get to know your admin team. But there it is, Duck and Daz made it from VIA. They are the 2 people that did it. There is no Ghost, sadly, Infinity. I know you're going to be crying yourself to sleep knowing that Ghost didn't make your Div 9 All-Stars, but there's one more spot. One more spot in the Div 9 All-Stars. Again, admin wildcards. This has gone to the Div 9 admin team last night, who had their say and their pick. Madge, bold of you to say 2 via !rig, because the last one is a second 90s baby. It's actually Mickey that comes in with the admin pick there, the wild card coming through. Again, there's only 8 players that can make it, so of course there are some interesting people missed out, of course, as you're seeing there. Infinity from Bitty is missing. You're also missing Easty from Bitty, so there's a few players that are all missing. However, for your team tonight, for your All-Stars team for this season, that is going to be the thing. It was completely player voted, and as we've go on towards the MVP now, we'll come back and I'll show you the votes in a second here. But ladies and gents, put it in the chat. Who do you think the MVP for Division 9 was? Remember, it's got to be one of those players you've just seen. Who was the MVP? Arts is saying Eddie. Eddie. Arts. Justice for Char. Put the fries in the bag, Char. Ghost is in my heart. There's a few votes. Right. I'm not going to waste your time any longer. Dinos. If we did this last season, my word, he'd have been all 8 All-Stars, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. Division 9 All-Star is... It's Eddie P, of course it was. Bitty Slam, they won 2 best of 5s in Grands. Eddie P was your player voted for MVP award of Division 9. Was impossible to try and count the votes because some people called him Eddie, some called him Eddie P, some called him Eddie P24, some called him Eddie P without a capital, and it was all over the place on the sheet. But he did have the most amount of votes in the end, and Heffy, you're lucky. I'm not going to slap you up for that message. Right. Now, before we get on to the division that everyone is waiting for, of course, in Division 10, lot of different players voted for. So look how many different ones there were voted for in Division 9. That goes to show kind of the difference, doesn't it? That Division 8-2 was kind of maybe a lot of votes going towards a couple players, but look how spread out the votes were here. You had 3 clear top 3 here, 11 votes for Arts, 9 for Scrivy, and 6 for Skovich, and then it started to level out as Eddie, Madge, and Daz all finished on 4. You had Dux, Mickey, Nathan, Zexois, Char. There you are, mate. Joel Balls rigged himself in here somehow. I'm pretty sure one of those votes was himself. No, it wasn't. I deleted that one. One of those votes was Jazz. I'm sure there was a bit of money exchanged between the two parties there. And they are your votes for the All-Stars. And over on the other side, Hey Maru, Easty, Sophie, Deanie, Harry, Leon, Morph, Yorkie, Rezi, Nata, Entity, Bean the Go, Infinity, and CJ all getting 1 vote each. Again, no MVP votes are put in the honourable mentions. These are just the second, third, fourth votes that you guys did. The MVP votes were a completely separate poll, but it was a lot closer actually in Division 5. Eddie P only had 5 of the 26 votes, but actually won with the 5 out of the 26 votes. Maybe at the end I'll go show you the MVP votes in back there. But for now, that is your Division 9 All-Star team done. Congratulations to these players and to your MVP for Division 9 this season, Eddie P. There we go. Right. Here. Where are they? Where are the Browners? Where are Come Mierdas? Are they here? Are they ready? Have they got their brown ties on? Their cans in their hand? And are they ready to go? Time to brown indeed, Cobbler. Right. Come on then. Division 10. Put it in the chat. Who do we think are going to be your Division 10 MVP? Who do you think are going to make the All-Star team? What's going to go on there? Heffy for Division 10 MVP. I back that one. And we'll pour another pint as we do it. Umbra for sure. Oh my god, it's fizzing everywhere. Oh my god, we spilt pint over my leg. Guys. Don't get that at the Golden Globes, see? You don't see Ricky Gervais spilling pints everywhere. Umbra. Oh. Heffy Snake Grand can't be MVP. Hashtag brown them out. Wonder how many votes Ronnie gets. Vinos. Right. I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Again, remember, the first 6 players are not voted for in any particular, or the players listed aren't in any particular order. We've switched them all around just so we can make sure that the teams are even. Oh god, I forgot I had to pour this. I haven't done that yet. I was too busy cleaning it off my leg. Oh my word, I've had a stinker. I've had a hooner. Look at that. Sorry, Div 10. I've had a hooner. We'll come back to that. Right. Player number 1 in your All-Stars is... Was it ever in much doubt Umbra? Of course he was going to make it here in one way or another, wasn't he? Umbra coming in as one of your Division 10 All-Stars this season. He, at times, had that peachy team on his back. I remember that game against Frequency. I can't remember what. Was it a Gridlock Hardpoint or something like that? Where he was on about 40... Oh, it was a Den. He had like 42 kills, and I'm pretty sure Heffy was still on a measly 7. So, of course, Umbra was going to make the Division 10 playoffs here, and... Oh, sorry, Division 10 playoffs. I'm so used to saying that. Division 10 All-Stars. We'll get the lingo in at some point soon. But yeah, Division 10 All-Stars. Umbra is going to be your first pick for team number 1. Following up very closely is a man close to my own heart. Soxy is coming in to play second player on the left-hand side here. Again, another star-studded player in a Division 10 game here. Soxy maybe didn't make the deepest of runs that he would have liked, but the games that I saw, the scoreboards I saw, he definitely did well. And again, he earned the votes of his peers. Remember, these first 6 you're going to see are all voted for by the team. And I heard him talk some smack in that Div 10 tourney the other night, so big up Soxy. But number 3 for the All-Stars is Harry. It's Harry. Of course it is. Time to Brown. He was going to make it at some point. I don't think these, well, definitely Umber and Harry, I don't think it was really ever in question, was it? That these two were going to make it into the All-Stars team. But obviously the MVP question is still up for grabs on the other side of things. So we'll come to that in a moment. But for now, we're going to leave Team 1 and we're going to come to Team 2 again. The bottom two admin wildcards are there that aren't voted for by the players. The admins of the respective divisions will choose them and the league. Player 4, there he is. He was worried he weren't going to make it. He was worried. But he is in. Simi against his Come Mierdas duo of Harry in the All-Stars match. It's going to be a battle between these two on the AR. It'll be interesting to see. Well, sorry, the AR. Harry is not an AR, so we'll ignore that one. But yeah, these two players again. They've had what a season they've had. You know, gone all the way down from 9 into 10. They've had a lot of things to fight through this season. They've come out on top as champs, and I'm sure it won't be the last time we hear of these two gamer tags, mate. Rad's React, they got to think about his gamer tag, you know. They had that. He was going to be a pickup for them at one point in this season. Just think of how far they've come since that moment to where they are now, where they're both in the All-Stars match. We're drinking out the can now because I give up. Right, 2 more of the top 6 have been missed. And here is one of them. Bear. From Frequency, that Frequency team, to be honest, probably could have done a little bit better when the season came to the crutch points. But Frequency still finishing a very strong top 3. They did brilliantly in groups, if I can remember correctly. It was about 10-1 or something like that inside of their groups. And then obviously playoffs, when they got to it, they lost to Como Mierdas in that winners final and then fell to Umber and the Peachy Playboys in the losers final. And I think it was a 3-2 game, wasn't it? It was very close, that one. And there's one player left. Any Div 10s want to guess who this final Div 10 All-Star is? Remember, these are the top 6 players. The 2 admin wildcards are coming after. Cheers, views. Yeah, it's a very valid message. Thank you, admins, moderators, for allowing that. Run the intel. So I can confirm there's only allowed to be 2 players from each team. So do with that information as you wish for your thoughts on who's going to make it. I will give Ronnie an honourable mention though. 1v3. Wow. Right. Player number 6. It's Icardi. Icardi stuck in there. That Dark Rose team that were making a bit of a run in losers, weren't they? They were causing a few upsets. Icardi was the man who was able to get that top 6 votes. He's very cracked, says Art, and his fellow Div 10 peers obviously believe that as well, as they're coming in with that vote as well. I mean, Cobbler allowed to cast it? That's a silly question. Of course he can. Can Heffy still make it? Well, he can. There are 2 admin wildcard picks. There is a chance you see another Peachy Playboy. There's a chance you see another Frequency player. Another Dark Rose. Another whatever team socks he's on. I don't know Div 10 that well. But who do we think? 2 admin wildcard picks. Again, picked by the AEL team. It was put in their chats yesterday. There's some discussions were had around the 2 players here. Who do we think is going to be the admin wildcards as B-Wiz comes in? And the answer has got to be a no. I got to win a div first, B-Wiz, mate. I'm seeing people win divs and go lower. You says get him gone. Alright, well, that's not very nice, is it? Last time I hosted an All-Stars event for Fuse. Oh. Joking, Fuse. Love you, really. Don't sack me. Right. I'm with Rig now. We're fine. True. I've got 2 All-Stars on my team. I've got 2 Div 9 All-Stars on my team next season. Right. Admin wildcards. Pick number 1. It's going to be Chaos coming through as the first pick from the admin team. I don't really know Div 10 that well. If you've got any arguments, you can take it up with Div 10. I know Community, yeah, that's one. I know Umbra's pretty good. That's kind of my limit as to where Div 10 went. Yeah. Cal's coming through. Is your first admin pick out of the team here? Team one short GGs. No, team one is well and truly going to be cooking. Oh, okay. We can swap it over. We'll swap it over if we need to do that. And your second admin wildcard. This one had a bit more contention between the admins, as there was a couple people that were going in between the two. I'll be honest. Whatever. We had to do Discord profile pictures. I can't just DM 32 people and say send me a picture because that's a bit weird. So here we go. Well, to be fair, no. If Kales and Socks are on the same team, they need to be on opposite teams. It's a good point. We can switch that. Your final admin wildcard pick for this season. Not rigged. He tried to push it away from him, but it's going to be your second peachy playboy. It's going to be Echo Lima 12. El is going to come in as the second pick here for the admin wildcards. Again, a man who's made it to that grand final. He couldn't do one over on the Komemiadas boys, but he might be able to do one over Harry on this game, although Harry and Umbra on the same team could be a scary sight for anyone who has got to play against them. And looks like it's going to be that team on the right hand side that are going to be against them. So it's an interesting one for sure. But they are your Division 10 All-Stars as voted for by the players and the admins. Right. There's only one thing left to do then, isn't there? We know what's coming up next, don't we? MVP award. The MVP award for your Division 10. I think there's only a few people are really thinking of, aren't there, between these. Molotov needs MVP. Molotov's shooting. I saw a couple scoreboards from him. I've seen he was shooting in that time. I spent a lot of time on Google Slides and Google Docs last night to get this done. You are indeed correct. Who are we thinking? Simi, Harry or Simi? Simi, Soxy or Harry? Harry, Molotov, Molly. Dark Rose on top. Oh, Icardi has got in. Simdog, Harry, I think. Simi or Harry, or the game is gone. Well, this was a closer vote than what you might have expected. However, there was one man who walked away with the most votes. It's your champ. It's Harry, your Division 10 MVP award for Season 3. Harry's walking away with it, of course. Come Mierdas on top. Scrap and Bants have watched this guy drop multiple 30 bombs, and he's come out on top in the end this season as well. And it'll be interesting going into next season how Harry's going to play, how the Come Mierdas team are going to split into all the teams and what's going on there. It's very exciting times going on, and I'll leak it now. My original plan was, boys, you'll love this one. My original plan was that Comimidas jersey that's on the way, that's got abuse on it. I was going to have it on underneath, and when the MVP got announced, I was going to like rip off like the Hulk. It'd just be sat in my Comimidas jersey. But sadly, Royal Mail take the piss. So it's still in the process. But we'll debut that one at some point. As the boys, congrats to them for all the stuff that's going on with them. Their org is growing. Good bunch if can rip it open would be even better, wouldn't it? So sadly, we're not going to be able to do that for you. But as we said, he's going to be your MVP for this season. And let's hop on over before we recap all of the divisions here. These are your honourable mentions and the votes for your players. So Umbra actually walked away with the most votes outside of the MVP ones. Of course, Harry won the MVP. So Harry's votes, he got 6 votes that weren't MVP as well, which kind of goes to show a lot, doesn't it? But these numbers do not include your MVP votes total. So Umbra, Bear, Harry, top 3, closely followed by Mr. Simi. And then your joint 5th with 4 votes is Icardi and Soxy. Joint 7th is Soap, L, and Kales. And then over on the right-hand side of your screen, you've got 5 players with 2 votes. That's Hubba, Cobbler, Nick, Pads, and Liv. And then you have... Oh, also you've got Dawn, Gotta Catch 'Em All, Jonesy. And then you've got 6 more players with 1 vote. Venos, Zerafinax, Widow, Showbiz, Not the Real J, and Tacos. There you go. Look at that. No Heffy votes. No. There wasn't any Heffy votes. Hubba, you did make it in the list, mate. 2 votes If you got to think about it, 2 votes. Oh, you got 2 votes, but you're only 2 votes away. Sorry, from the top 6 and making that All-Star team. So you were very close in the end. That is Div 10 wrapped up. Should we do a quick recap of it all? Should we do a quick recap for those that maybe have just joined? This week is your Division 8 All-Stars team. You got Fyro, Brack, FDP, and Jackpot Luke facing off against Abuse, Graphics, Sam, and Icon. And the MVP award, of course, was Mr. X Sam. I've got to keep flipping between the two here. That is a ridiculous lineup, to be fair, of sides here. It will be interesting to see if we can get this game done. Who's going to struggle there? I'll put my hand up. It's going to be me. Look who I'm playing against. The FTP is going to say one thing in that Irish accent against me, and it's going to be a bad day at the office. Division 8-2, for those that might have missed it. Tommy, Godders, Cozy, and Archangel, or Kaneki as he's now called, against Hysaw, Nadesa, Bug, and JM on the other side of things. Again, some very good game coming on there between the All-Stars. All of them are going to be good games, to be fair. You got to think, you got 8 players that are voted for by the admins and by each other as the best players for this season. It's going to be an interesting one, of course. Division 9, here is your team again. Scrivy, Brackets, Onomoni, Eddie P, Major C, and Duck up against Arts, Daz, Skovich, and Mickey. Here's the MVP in All-Stars games gone, GG. And your MVP, of course, was Eddie P for Div 9. Every MVP was on the winning side this season, which, to be fair, if the MVP votes had gone differently, we wouldn't have changed it if the player that won MVP hadn't won the Div. But I think kind of people know that typically the MVP is going to be the winner of a Div. And then you look at the other side, you've got Umbra, Soxy, Harry, Kales up against Simi, Bear, Icardi, and L. What a lineup this is going to potentially be in all of these All-Star games. If you were one of the All-Stars, we're going to be trying to organise these games. So I will probably do it later on tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to try and get everyone into a ticket. And we're going to try and get all 8 of you available one night in the next week or so to play one best of 5, just a bit of laugh. We'll make sure it's casted. We'll make sure there's people there to watch it. It'll get announced and all that stuff. A bit like grand finals. Just as a bit of an end of season 3 celebration going to season 4. And hopefully this will be a thing that we can kind of tweak. We can refine it going into future seasons and do that. It was a bit of a trial one this time. Me and Madge kind of took it to Fuses. This is kind of what we want to do. He went kind of run with it. I don't think he envisaged me spending 3 hours of my life making a Google Slides presentation, a golden tie, a desk down here, all that stuff. But I hope it was I hope it was enjoyable for everyone. And of course, like I said, we'll try and get the All-Star games done this week. I think it'll be something nice to do while we're in that little bit of an off season between season 1 and season 3 and season 4. But ladies and gents, that is going to be me done for the stream. I expect free entry for Abuser's team as thanks. That's a great point, actually. That's a really good idea. Or you should let us in Div 8-2, Joel. What do you think? If Div 8-2 runs, do you think you should just let us in there? I do. Anyway, as I said, appreciate everyone for hanging out and watching this. So I'm going to raid you out on a fellow AEL admin who is doing some casting in Live. So appreciate everyone for stopping by for your Low Div All-Star Awards night. And until next time, we'll be seeing you later. I've got to wait here awkwardly now for 10 seconds. I'm going to pretend that I'm frozen for 10 seconds.